Today, I'd like to discuss a profound philosophical and spiritual concept that has intrigued thinkers, mystics, and seekers for centuries: ego dissolution. This principle is not only central to many Eastern philosophies and spiritual practices but also deeply rooted in the teachings of Jesus, particularly the enigmatic saying from the Gospel of St. Thomas, "If you die before you die, you won't die when you die." Ego dissolution refers to the experience of losing the sense of a separate, individual self. It is often described as a state where the boundaries between oneself and the rest of existence blur, leading to a sense of unity and interconnectedness with all things. This concept is central to many Eastern philosophies and spiritual traditions. In Buddhism, the idea of anatta, or no self, teaches that the self is an illusion. According to this philosophy, clinging to the ego, or the idea of a permanent, unchanging self, is the root of suffering. By letting go of the ego, one can achieve enlightenment, a state of liberation from the cycles of birth and death. Similarly, in Hinduism, the practice of yoga and meditation aims to transcend the ego and realize the true self, or Atman, which is not separate from Brahman, the ultimate reality. This realization is described as moksha, or liberation. If you die before you die, you won't die when you die. This enigmatic saying attributed to Jesus in the Gospel of St. Thomas, a text discovered in the Nag Hammadi Library in 1945, aligns with the principle of ego dissolution. To understand this saying, we must delve into the deeper, mystical aspects of Jesus' teachings. When Jesus says, "If you die before you die, you won't die when you die," he is speaking of a metaphorical death, a death of the ego. This teaching suggests that by undergoing a profound transformation and relinquishing the ego while still alive, we can transcend the fear and finality of physical death. Jesus' teachings often emphasized selflessness, humility, and the importance of spiritual rebirth. In the Gospel of John, Jesus tells Nicodemus, "Very truly I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again." John 3 verse 3. This rebirth is not a physical one, but a spiritual transformation where one sheds the ego and embraces a higher consciousness. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Matthew 5 verse 3. Being poor in spirit can be interpreted as having a humble and contrite heart, free from the arrogance and self-centeredness of the ego. Furthermore, in Luke 9 verse 23, Jesus states, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me." This call to deny oneself is a direct invitation to let go of the ego, to embrace a path of selflessness and spiritual awakening. Integrating ego dissolution into modern life. The principle of ego dissolution is not just a historical or religious concept but has practical applications in our modern lives. By letting go of the ego, we can experience deeper connections with others, reduce conflict, and find inner peace. Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection can help us on this journey. In psychology, the concept of ego dissolution has been explored in the context of therapeutic practices. For example, the use of psychedelics in controlled settings has shown potential in helping individuals experience ego dissolution, leading to profound personal insights and healing. Thanks for listening. Nathaniel.